It's got to get added to the list here. Check, check. All right, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. You guys missed my explanation. Rob Otto pointed out that he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I said that I used to love Cocoa Puffs. I still do, but they seem to tear my mouth up now. And that by the time you're on your fourth bowl of Cocoa Puffs in the morning, it gets a little bit raw in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just...
But
as a potential thought there, maybe the fourth bowl is the problem.
No,
however,
come
Captain
on.
Crunch cereal, which I have not had a ton
it's
of,
like
but I've had
sandpaper in your
some.
mouth. Yeah.
That is even just one bowl.
Yeah.
Is too many bowls.
Yes. All right, baby, talk a little bit more.
I'm talking a little bit more.
I think you sound good. Everybody in the room, if you hear any, it's Steve. It is very hypnotic. But we already said hello to everybody in the room, except except the audio is off. So now,
so now just pretend that we named everyone who started.
Yes.
It was Iceberg first. We said hello to Steve Rickyberg, Richard Bennett, Don Shipley, Kim Hansen, several Shannons.
Robin Taylor, Christopher Wright, some more Shannon, Don, Jude. Hello,
the
Jude Stenson.
Natazis. Hey,
Howard,
Jude Stenson.
Howard Dinatale. Welcome back,
Hey,
brother.
guys.
I don't know if you were here last time, but maybe I didn't see you. I don't know. But it's time for us to go live, baby. You ready?
I'm ready as I'm ever going to be.
And turn that off. And 3, 2, 1. Hello. Oh, jeez.
Hey, Lou. Nice to see you. Whoa.
There we go.
You're traveling through space with us. Here we go.
You know what else we forgot? Okay, here we go. A little list right here. Pick up your drink. There we go.
Alrighty.
We've got a very high-tech system so that we can set my standing desk so that it will not wobble every time we breathe or I toot.
Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, you are never chopped liver. I mean, I bet you make a mean chopped liver if you make chopped liver.
That family can cook or cook anything,
Exactly.
make anything for
Yes,
drinks.
exactly.
It doesn't friggin' matter. It's nerve-wracking. It's frightening. Hello, everyone.
Howdy,
Happy
guys.
Wednesday. I'm hitting the sauce early this Wednesday because it has been a slow-going day here in the Sigler household. My lovely wife is not feeling tip-top.
I didn't mention it last week, but when we were talking about my birthday, because I didn't think it was going to matter, but on my birthday, I spent about 5 hours in the urgent care because on the Saturday night before, I stepped on a piece of stray driftwood, and it punctured my heel, and I thought, that's fine, we cleaned it out, I soaked it, he cleaned it. It wasn't fine. It was two 1.2 centimeter splinters stuck in there.
We got to put those pictures up. Can we put those pictures up next week?
I mean, I guess they're not terribly appealing, but sure.
They don't look that dramatic, but when you start to look at it, be like, imagine this tiny thing, and we're not talking about my ween, this tiny thing embedded in your leg.
Foot, heel, yeah. So it was,
I had to say that because if I say a tiny thing, Rob Otto and Dan Baker are immediately going to say you're talking about your
Robbie
ween.
Said?
What?
Never chop liver, fold liver. Good call. So anyway, I have had a little bit of a rough time of it because I don't tolerate broad spectrum antibiotics as well as I could, and so my gut's a little grumbly. But I'm a much better today.
I have a different pop filter in that. Something's weird. There you go. Now try.
Do you like this better?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Okay.
And I.
That's much better.
Okay. So
Hi,
I'm well. I'm completely well, but I don't tolerate antibiotics terribly well, so I'm a little bit grumbly and bleh. But I'll be fine tomorrow.
Jenna, Leah, Dennis, Richard, welcome everybody. We've got
Matt Moretti, nice to see you too.
We've got a crazy good show. Let me cuddle up on you here a little bit, and we're just gonna. I'm sorry, guys. Every time I think I have everything set up, I always have something. I'm always missing something. Go back to main.
This looks like we're centered on both now.
Yeah, centered on both. Fab. It's exactly the way I meant to do it. It's performance art. If you ever watch my headlines of the week on Friday on Twitch, we did one where a guy sold a sculpture of nothing, literally nothing, for 14,000 euros. And some asshole paid 14,000 euros for this guy's sculpture of nothing. And you may think, but there had to be something.
Or something? Or
No,
was it a physical nothing?
Physical nothing. He sort of taped out an area in a street and said, within that area is my sculpture of nothing. If you are the winning bidder, you may take it with you. And some schmuck paid 14,000 euros because he's stretching the boundaries of what art is. It's crazy. That didn't happen where I grew up.
That kind of thing would not happen
where I grew up. Yeah.
Is now a professional artist.
Well, this guy apparently was a regular professional.
Oh, then that's, and it's sort of like a John Hale thing where you're...
Who's John Hale?
No. Was it John Gage? John Gage, I think.
I know John Wayne Gacy. Is that the same thing?
No.
Oh.
There was a composer, a musician who composed a symphony where he built a a lucite box that sat on the stage of a string quartet, a 4-string quartet, one on each side of the box, and then somebody came out on the stage and dumped goldfish into the box.
Living goldfish.
Living goldfish, which
man.
and the box had staff lines painted on it. And so the musician that was looking directly at their side of the thing played whenever a goldfish ended up on a staff note, like, oh, that's an E. They played an E. And all 4 of them did that for 15 minutes, and that was the show. And it's...
I admit, if I could see somebody do that with a plugged-in guitar going into a stack of Marshalls, I'd see that show.
Yeah, well, and it's a cool concept and impermanent art anyway.
But they actually did make a thing that made a sound. It wasn't just nothing.
And the lucite box and everything.
Like, I think it just was too far away from me is the weird thing. All right, let's go over what we've got coming on the show for you today. Really fun stuff. Siglerbrations, pup dates, junkie pics. We have some book information, a lot of book information. And we will talk about how Indiana Jones, Dr. Jones, went to the Yucatan and went into a temple that was overgrown with poison ivy and bristles, and he discovered 4 lost bins of GFL T-shirts.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to tell you what we were missing, tell you what's available. We had that great sale about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And sold out of everything like a bang. I said, this is my art. I show you my T-shirts, and you bought it and you took it with you, and it worked out great.
I will tell you, though, that sale.
Oh, yeah, Michael, I dyed the shit out of the beard, dude. I'm not even going to lie to you. I dyed, you roll with it, man. Got to do your thing. It's very darker.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Doesn't matter. You're blown away by my gorgeous, gorgeous beard.
What I was going to say is there are some of you out there, if you back in April ordered a T-shirt and I couldn't send it to you for some reason because it wasn't available, we sent it to somebody else by mistake, something. I have emailed every one of you who was missing a T-shirt that I had to email in April. So claim that. I am holding it for you. You just have to let me know that you still want it.
You keep that position right there, baby. I'm going to bring you up just a notch. So don't lean in.
I kicked it with my foot.
Don't lean in. All right. First of all, most important thing. International Day of Chocolate is International Chocolate Day. I've got some chocolate salty balls right here.
Those are actually Kona coffee chocolate macadamia nuts, I think. Our friend Kim Hansen, who's in the chat room tonight, met us for lunch last week.
Rob and Danny are going to have some kind of comment on this. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be gross.
And brought those along the way.
Kim, these are so freaking good, man.
And then the other one is, I think, a chocolate-covered almond.
Dark chocolate-covered almonds, which are also salty.
I really love International Day of Chocolate because I don't have to eat on camera at all. Hey, Nelson, nice to see you.
Nelson!
Rob Otto, always beating chocolate.
Always beating on camera. Oh, yeah. Let's see. We've got, first of all, not sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It's really fun and awesome. You see great stuff. If you are on the Twitch, come join me Fridays, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We get into the very deep, hard-hitting, Pulitzer-winning news and pick all headlines that have the word feces in them, and then a couple of other jokes. Any kind of headline that involves small genitalia, feces, animals doing weird stuff, or things that could possibly be conjectured as possibly sexual, which aren't, probably are going to make your headlines of the week. And also, if there's any really cool science stories, breaking science stories, we'll go over that stuff too.
And despite that coda there at the end, it will be no surprise to most of you that I am not on the Twitch headline of the week.
No, it's...
because it wouldn't be so much fun for Scott to talk about poop for half an hour?
Yeah, it's half hour.
Half
hour poop chat.
With me sitting here fretting. And
let's just say that for a highly educated woman who grew up on the island of Manhattan, immersed in culture 24/7 and able to do many wondrous things to expand her brain, this show is not for her. This show is for dirty butt kids from Sheboygan who still laugh at fart jokes and think they're funny.
I actually think that has a little less to do with my upbringing and a little more to do with my primness.
It might be primness. I'm not going to follow what Howard's saying right now, but Howard, of course, is a font of knowledge.
It's a very cool
and is dropping some knowledge about art. So that's International Chocolate Day. It's celebrated on July 7th every year. Celebrates the existence of chocolate in our lives, which I am firmly behind. Twitch come up books. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about you and me. You guys should check out
that comment from Howard. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, let's get to, I gotta go here, and I go books, and let's see if this works. Boom! Yes! So, Gangster episode 31 is up over at ScottSigler.com. You should be subscribed to the podcast, scottsigler.com/subscribe. You get that stuff jammed into your box hole every Sunday morning. Gangster 30, Gangster 29. It's all there. It's incredible. Going back, Book Review The Power, John Wick, 2 Story Smack. Tomorrow, we have a drop for the audio only for the Story Smack of Top Gun.
Top Gun.
That you and I and Rob
fun.
did. We all put on our bomber jackets, by which Rob put on his bomber jacket. We all put on our bomber jackets. We flashed
Rob
our
never
unit
misses
insignia.
a moment to lean into the theme.
No, he never.
He really doesn't.
Rob
It's
does
super.
Not,
it's
does
a
not
lot.
miss a moment.
We do get a handful of emails saying, "Gosh, thank you so," which you guys are all a part of because you sent many. Thank you so much for coming at us once a week live. Thanks so much for adding Story Smack. Thanks so much for adding Rob to Story Smack. And I have to agree. It's a lot zhuzhed up with Robbie in there. It's a lot more fun to do too, I think.
And other book news. I'm not going to talk about the Gangster GFL Book 7 right now, but A might have some gangster news coming over this. Mount Fitzroy, up to 2,444 reviews. Let's see if that's gone up since we started this. And then we got some really cool stuff. Nope. So I think we'll stop celebrating the Mount Fitzroy reviews. Probably when we get to 2,500, we'll have a party. It'll be great, and we will bring it up every time. But Earth Core hit 11,000 even. It's awesome. I did a little screenshot post on Facebook. Greatly appreciate everybody who got behind us and did that last rally to get us up over 11,000 reviews. Not just for me, any creator you like, particularly authors, ratings and reviews are the single best thing you do after buying the book. And buy the book, buy the product, tell everybody you like, know about the product, share it on social media, and then do the rate and review because that trips algorithms. And marketing now is nothing but algorithms and clowns in skirts.
And
that's all marketing is.
I will tell you guys, if you follow me on social media, you know I'm not terribly social media savvy or a big fan. But every time I am on Facebook or whatever and I see any creator I like, because of course I followed all their pages, where somebody is having a conversation. So Scott posts the picture of the review of Earth Core and somebody says, "Gosh, I loved that book." Apparently, one of the most successful things you can do right now, since they're always changing how the algorithm works, right now, if there's a comment there and you comment on the comment, which they consider conversation,
is a conversation.
that is a very powerful, helpful thing for the algorithm right these days. So I try to do that. I'm not all that good at social media, but like I love Jonathan Mayberry and I love Peter Klein's. And today Peter Klein's posted "Hey, I write books. Here they are." And people were like, "Oh, I'd never heard of this one." And I went in and commented on that, hoping it helps. You know,
Fab. And then cool thing going on at Audible right now until July 11th. Both Alive and Alight books 1 and 2. Look at those select books 1 and 2. You would think that's a fancy button. I'm just clicking a mouse. Book 1, Alive, is part of the 2-for-1 sale over at Audible. And Alight is also part of the 2-for-1 sale. So you could get both books for the price of one or for 1 credit. If you're not an Audible member, get it for 1 credit. If you want to buy it, it's $20 for both. And if you have the Kindle version or get the Kindle version, it's $7.49 for both because it's fancy pants, and that is great. And I think that is it for the books. Let's get back to the main. Bang, boom, dead, done.
We do have one other book update, but it's for a subset of you guys out there. I have no specific hard tack details about when it's available, but the Siglerfest 2K19 photo book is very near complete, and I'm sure Bruce and Scott and I will get together in the next few days to see what are the last items that Bruce needs from us to get that going. But we're close. I know a handful of you, Robin. I know Tracy. You asked me about it, so I wanted to let you know.
Okay, I think we're there.
Yeah. So we that's the top of this, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I, as you guys know, am I'm right in the midst of prepping the labels for shipping for the Gangster. The Gangster is currently at the printer being printed. We have all the paper we need. We have all the ink. We have everything. So it's currently being printed. And I don't have a ton of detail, but last week it was super duper hot, a heat wave across the country, and their OSHA requirements dripped, so they had to shut down a little early. I got an email saying like, "This won't affect you," which I kind of love because there's been so many delays. So I think we're on track. I say this every week. I am still churning through all the update emails, order emails. So don't worry if you haven't heard back from me. You will get a specific response to your email once I update your thing. And then probably mid-July, I will come on here and say, "You guys, I'm done. If you haven't received an email about your update or concern, and I I didn't get it. Make sure you email it again. And then we're going to send a newsletter to that effect and that sort of thing. The book should be in your hot little hands at the very latest by Labor Day. I think they're actually going to arrive here the first week of August, and then they'll go out in the next couple of weeks. So by Labor Day, you'll be good.
Do you want me to open that curtain a little bit? It's getting a little warm in here.
No, I'm okay.
You good? Okay.
I think so.
So, Story Smack coming up this Saturday. We've been waiting for this for a while. Second Saturday of every month, we do a Story Smack. It's Scott Sigler, Story Smack, second Saturday. It's the 6 S's. They teach that. The 6 S's of success, as Rob and I like to phrase it. We're going to be doing that this coming Saturday, July 10th at 5 p.m. Black Widow comes out
the day before.
Friday night. Or Friday, I guess. And then we're going to cover this for our Story Smack because this is the second appearance of Black Widow, celebrating Black Widow getting her own solo
Still
movie.
my favorite. Still my favorite Avengers.
Pretty pumped for the Black Widow movie. It's going to be pretty sweet. And Rob Otto, of course, will be joining us, bringing his copious truckloads of knowledge. He, of course, is an honorary member of Avengers West Coast.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Who are the other Avengers West Coast?
Rob, I bet Rob can rattle off who the other Avengers West Coast were. I think Hawkeye led the team. If I recall, they shipped him out to the West Coast and made him the leader of the team. I can't remember who the hell was in the goddamn thing, though. So Rob,
We know Rob. Anyway.
Rob, in the comments, please, Rob, inform us who was in Avengers West Coast way back when. And what else?
I will say this, little early spoiler. I have never seen it, and I was delighted to watch it. I had a lot of fun. All right, so.
Sorry, I got caught with chocolate salty balls in my mouth. I put them in my mouth and suck them and suck them and suck them, and it didn't work out well.
So.
You know what time it is?
Is it this time?
Yep.
Yeah. So Scott told you a whole big story about Indiana Sigler. Or something.
Indiana Jones, dog. Dr. Jones, dog.
Well, that's it. You didn't call him doctor at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry. He didn't go to 18 years of artifact school for nothing.
So you guys know, we sold T-shirts for a long time, and I've been telling you we've been sort of working on a platform, working on a partnership with a global platform that you'll be able to order from a website that isn't scottsigler.com, but you'll be able to order T-shirts, probably also retired T-shirts, on your continent and in multiple sizes, so that you pay less shipping than you would otherwise if you're not in the United States. That's one of the reasons. Two, with all the VAT, MOSS, all the value-added taxes, things that are happening in the UK and the EU, it's a lot easier and a lot less stress for you guys in the EU and the UK to receive them without having to worry about penalties or fines or whatever else. So we're moving to an online platform, and in the beginning of April, we made a big old sale. And I started to fill the orders, and I was like, okay, well, we're missing T-shirts. What's going on here? No, that's okay. We'll figure it out. It's fine. And then we were done. And, and then we are preparing the warehouse to receive the gangster. And we found 4 more cases of T-shirts.
4 more cases
Are
of T-shirts.
Are you kidding me?
Real quick, Emily McGregor says, hey, is that a charm bracelet? It is a charm bracelet.
It is. Let me talk about that in a minute. So hang tight for a minute, and I will let you know about it.
What T-shirts might we have, darling?
Lord's sakes, you guys.
Yes.
4 cases of T-shirts. I was at once hysterical laughing, like, are you kidding me? We moved them to the warehouse? Oh my God. And a little bit angry and super excited. So first.
Welcome to the QVC channel, the Sigler edition. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a treasure trove of unexpected product that just came in, and I was just talking to Chantal in the back, and I was saying, these deals, with these are not gonna last. And Chantal, she ordered a box for her grandma in Des Moines right off the bat. We were down 25%. This is the Rufflin Ridgebacks shirt, and as you can see, this is a fabulous fabric. Is this cashmere? This is crushed velvet. This is some high quality stuff. It's gorgeous, and these are not. Oh, look, the counter just ticked down from 110 to 42. They're already going. You guys should jump on them real quick, and we have them up over here.
So I'm going to jump in. Howard, what's your name? Marvin?
Murray.
I knew
Murray.
it was an old man who lived in my building when I was young.
Murray isn't it? He wants to break into QVC or HSC. I am fond of all the 3-letter acronym shopping channels, and I think that I could do a good job of moving a lot of like this. You could rub this. This is like rubbing a baby's butt right against your face. It's very smooth. It's very soft.
Murray.
Yes.
So I'm going to jump in here for a minute
All
and
right.
say what's important for you guys to know right now, because it's a little bit of a sneak peek, is we're going to walk through the T-shirts that we do have remaining, but they are all live at scottsigler.com right this very minute, and the sale is back on. So they're still half price.
Oh, you've made it. You put the damn things on. Are you sure?
Yeah.
They say 15.
You click through.
Okay, let's go to this one.
It should be. We'll find out. If not, I'll fix it.
$7.50.
Yeah, there we go.
Chantel, this is just an insane. I don't know how QVC stays in business offering these kind of deals. I mean, it costs more than that just to get the sandwiches into the lunchroom.
So it is also important to note, Murray, that not every size is available. As I just got through saying, these are found cases of T-shirts. So they're not a new run. There's not going to be a new run because we're going to move to that online platform. So two things here are important. One, not every T-shirt that we have available has every size available. That said, every size that we carry except for 4X is available in at least one of these T-shirts. So if you're listening to this and you missed out on the last sale, jump in right now before tomorrow, because tomorrow that's going to go live.
And look what else we've got offered here. What is the thread count on this? This is like a 84,000 thread count. This was made in a factory in Cairo with sustainable silk and also donkey fur. It's incredibly soft. Now, of course, the thing we all know about donkey fur, Chantel, is it's very durable. It's very durable. The Bedouins used to use all donkeys for all of their shipping across the desert, and yet the donkeys would finish the trip across the desert, and they would just be as soft and supple as the day they had started.
Isn't that camels?
Camel fur, it's a little bit rough. I think it's a little bit rough.
But isn't it camels in the desert, not donkeys?
Donkeys do not get the respect they deserve for being desert-going shipping vehicles.
In the Bedouin
This
desert.
is the Galactic Football League logo T-shirt, pre-faded, created by the artist Scott Pond, who has sold 18 copies of absolutely nothing at all. So he's a more famous nothing artist than the other person. And also has
sold copies of his books and his artwork.
But you can see
tangible.
The incredible colors here, which were made from finding almost extinct shellfish, making them extinct, grinding them up, and making a pigment out of their now extinct shells. So when this is gone, I mean, we're talking about millions of years of evolution that are going to be gone forever. So keep that in mind.
So the Ruffled Ridgeback tees, the GFL League logo tees, and this tee that Murray is currently wearing.
Oh yes,
which,
and
Lord, here we go.
I feel
testing the product.
Oh yes, let's test the product.
Oh Lord, sakes alive, you guys.
This is at ScottSigler.com shop. I mean, if Scott had known what he was doing for QVC, he would have created a graphic for that. But this. Oh my! This is incredibly.
Why did I not see that coming? Why did I not see that coming, you guys? And don't say that I said coming. We know, you guys.
It's like wearing, it's like the saran wrap that covers an angel's genitalia. It's so spectacular. What's happening? My nipples are getting a little bit pokey, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening?
So this is this Kraken's T-shirt without the nipples.
This is a Kraken's T-shirt, established 2662. There's only a few of these left. Chantel's cousins bought them all. I know they're probably going to sell them for a markup in Tijuana. That's capitalism. There's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is control the stock we have in-house in a first-come, first-serve basis.
Well, that part is true. So before Murray gets head of steam about the next one, again, no comments. I have to say, look at your face. I have to say, the GFL T-shirts, the Ruffled Ridgeback T-shirts, and the Kraken's football, the 2019 edition with the nipples, those are the ones that we have the most of. So if you're thinking like, God, I'd get them, but I don't. But you want one of those, we have a lot of them, but we don't have an infinite amount of those. And those are the ones that we have bigger sizes in, too. So next up, I think, is...
Yes, Joshua, they are the saran wrap that covers an angel's genitalia. Some more. Yes, you do have to provide your own nipples. I tried to get a box of nipples from Scandinavia, shipped in.
And they turned out to be googly eyes.
And I was very disappointed. But let me point something out very clear. The nipples that turned out to be googly eyes that I purchased online from Scandinavia, those were not purchased from QVC. Because at QVC, we have a very, very strict product quality quality control program, which is the PQQPC. And this, speaking of spectacular finds, this is made of moon dust, actual genuine moon dust. QVC sent 4 gremlins to the moon. They mined the moon to make the spectacular dust. And touching this, I mean, that's got to be what it's like, to touch.
Nope. We're done. I'm just going to tell you, we have 3 of those T-shirts, and they're all in size medium. Just to 3. So if you want the moon dust that touches some things, quit with the nipples. Nope, we're done. Just 3 of those.
Okay. Yeah. Some more of those wily Scandinavians, they scam me. All right.
So also, Rob Otto points out that probably Cousin Bodie had bogarted those cases of T-shirts.
I think he did, and he's the one who sold them back to us so he'd go get some weed money.
We also just have a few small, 1 medium, 5 smalls, Buddha City Elite. We have 5 extra large McMurdo Murderer T-shirts. Those are beautiful.
Ooh, let's
they're
go
hot
see those.
pink, or they're black with a hot pink bunny. And I think
Everybody loves a hot
it.
pink bunny, ladies and gentlemen. There's a hot
Lord.
pink bunny right there.
Oh, Lord.
So how many of those we got?
We have 5. Nope, we have 5 extra larges.
5 XLs. Get them while they're hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. And then we got a couple of Buddha City chosen for victory. Excuse me. Got those. So you guys, we just want to let you know that we have those. Plus, we were hurting for content, so we thought we'll do both things. Upper left, boom, dead, done, pow. There we go. Moving on. Let's get to our advertisers that we advertise because of charities. Here we go with an advertiser. Wait, that's that 2-measure rest. And 3 and 4 and
1, 2, and 3, and 4, and there you go.
Pow! There we go. Ladies, take it away, baby girl.
So, as you guys know, during the pandemic and continuing until we are not weekly doing Sigler in Place because your lives are back in order and you're doing things outside the house, we are featuring as our quote-unquote advertiser once a week a charity that is specifically working during this pandemic to relieve suffering, to have medical supplies. This week, we are featuring Oxfam America. That is their actual name, but they are an international organization. So don't worry about me focusing on Americans, which I do a lot, but if you guys have charities, please send them in. Oxfam America is a global organization working to end the injustices of poverty. They help people build better futures for themselves, hold the powerful accountable, and save lives during disasters. They are global despite their name and have been on the front lines of the COVID responses and support for the community in several ways. They have worked with Better Business Bureaus. They are one of the few COVID forward charities that are Better Business Bureau endorsed and related. They're obviously all the charities that I pick that we feature about COVID are all Charity Watch rated, 4 stars or higher. Oxfam America is currently on the ground in Miami helping the condominium victims. In South Florida, getting ready ahead of time for when the hurricane hits, which just touched a couple of hours ago, just touched down. I hope you guys are...
It's getting biblical down there, man. It's like things collapsing, people dying, storms storming.
So if you have the interest and will, please share that. Please donate, or please send me at info@emptyset.com if you have a charity, even if it's a local charity to you. In 2021, we've been adding sort of micro regional charities, and I'm happy to feature those too. Okay.
All right, back to me. Bang. I'm digging on them chocolate salty balls, man. They're fantastic. All right, so that's Oxfam. Let's get down to the best part of the show. It's time for the pup dates with our puppies. They're 2 tiny little dogs that make us happy. It's our pup dates. Baby girl, let's talk about pup dates now. Oh, look at that cute patoots.
So tiny and young. Look at her.
Sitting here for the entire pup date segment of the show will be Squeaks McGeeks, hailing from La Jolla, California. Where is she from originally?
She's from Irvine,
California, where she lived under cars, ate cheese paper, and finished off wounded birds.
Yeah, she was a 5-pound. She's a Chip-In, half Min Pin, half Chihuahua. She was 5 pounds when Animal Control finally rescued her under a Jetta, which is what they ended up naming her. I like Squeaky McGeeks better.
Real quick, tell them why we told this before. I'm sure we have.
I don't know what the
Real
question
quick, tell them why we named Squeaks Squeaks.
Yeah, this is sort of fun. I don't think we have. So I grew up with cats, not dogs. And the only dog that I really had growing up of any longevity, and we had, Jude and I had a dog named Honey for a while, but Honey didn't last very long. But my dad, at my dad's funeral home, they had a security dog. And the security dog was a Doberman Pinscher, and his name was Otto. And Otto was... the sort of the dog prototype that I had in my childhood, because we had the other one was a little dachshund, but she wasn't around for very long. Anyhow, when Squeaky comes into my life, I am single. He's moved to San Diego because it's 2016. We're working together all the time, and I almost immediately adopted a dog after I became single, and this was the dog that came home to me. My friend Amy had a friend who had this dog that was willing to come home with me, and so I go to meet her, and we take her home, and I drive. Scott drives me up there so that I can hold her or whatever when we're driving home, and so he can bring Reese, because if I want to bring her to the office every day, that's important. Mm-hmm. So we're all up there. Obviously, I take the dog, and we're riding home, and the dog is sleeping on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. She looks a lot like the only other dog that the prototype dog, so I'm going to name her Otto, even though she's a girl. And he was like, that's very confusing for me, because my best friend is Rob Otto, and that's going to be a little hard. And I was like, all right, can I name him Robbie? And he's like, also the same kind of confusing, let's call Rob. So we called Rob, and I didn't know him at all then, and explained that whole thing I just told you. And he said, well, you're in luck. I have a bunch of sisters, and all of us have nicknames. And I remember I don't remember all the other sisters, forgive me, Rob, but I think there was somebody named Laura, who is the one that was Squeaky. And then there was somebody else who was Lovey. And when he said Lovey, and I think he has Rob, you have a bunch of siblings, right? So, and I don't know that they all have nicknames, but a bunch of siblings. And so he got I think 3 in, or maybe even 2 in. And one was Lovey, and I was like, yep, that works. That's fine. And then he said Squeaky, and I was like, no, she's so tiny and so cute, and we'll do that. My favorite coda to this story is Squeaky. She either barks or she sort of squeaks when she wants something. She doesn't really like whine. She'll go like,
she does squeak.
It's pretty cute. So
there we go. So now we go back to, and of course, our big pick of the week is, can someone please explain to me what the hell is going on with my Bedouin donkey shipping dog?
That is Easter Sunday in, I think, 2018.
Matching ears for
Your brother and his family were in town. Mm-hmm. Aaron was wearing that scarf to Easter Sunday dinner, mm-hmm. and we were outside. That's at my parents' house, and we all had Easter Sunday dinner together, and she decided to do that to Reese to see how long she would stay there, and she stayed there a really long time.
Well, my nieces were there, and Reese was like, whatever the nieces want, it's fine. All right.
We'll do whatever that is. We love you.
Moving on to the Junkie Pup Show. Yay! Walk us through this.
These are Junkie Pups. So this is Shannon and Jennifer in Austin. This is their pup, Alaric? Is that how you say that? I think so. It's not Alaric.
Alaric. He's Latvian.
Yeah. And Shannon wrote in, he was given to us by some lady in a grocery store parking lot in a plastic ice cream tub. He was covered in fleas and scared.
Oh, poor Pumpkin.
I know. And look at how tiny he was in that little tub.
Oh, Pumpkin.
Covered in fleas and scared to death. We got him all fixed up, though. He is a super anxious dog with lots of love, and who gets lots of love and also has stinky ass farts. So he's a cute spatoots. I'm super glad you sent that in. Next up.
One.
All right, so this is a lovely story. As you guys know, that is J.P. Harvey. He's one of our secret agents. This is not his dog, but it is still a lovely story. His gorgeous wife, Stephanie, sent this story in. She said, here's a really touching pup date for you. This is Hedwig. He was recently adopted by my friend Nicole. He was rescued from a meat market by somebody that had neglected him. He was rescued from that person by my friend Nicole. He is just the sweetest little thing. He was so frightened when he first came home. He was afraid of men. Nicole and her husband, Mike, have been working very hard to socialize him and make him comfortable. He's starting to learn how to be a dog. Nicole brought him over to meet our pups yesterday. He played a little with them, but the most awesome thing was that he gave kisses to both JP and Paul.
Nice.
Paul is their son, who I think you guys know.
Right.
And he allowed them to pet him. He's making good progress, and he doesn't have to be afraid anymore. So I thought I'd add that too. What a lovely story.
And now.
Okay, so this is Emily McGregor, right? I didn't write your. I'm almost sure that's you. This is a new addition to the family. His name is Lovey. He was living on the streets and had been abused as well as attacked by a dog. I rescued him after a coworker asked for my help. He's the most grateful fur baby now who loves cuddles.
Come on, very nice. If you look at this,
and let me see.
If you squint your eyes a little bit and look at this, this looks like a cat from The Walking Dead. Like the whole nose is gone, just a hole where the septum was supposed to be. It's very nice. Who's this?
This is Tiga. This is Simor Jurabachi's pup. And
nice.
This is a recent pic. She had to come inside because it was too hot in Portland. She said, Simorg says, this is a picture of Tiga while she was resting a sore knee. She is not thrilled to be kept inside, but with the 100-plus degree weekend facing us, she'd be inside either way.
And now...
That's it.
Back to that. So we now go back to Maine. So that is our pup dates.
So
and we're going to jump. You want to jump right over to Junkie pics? Let's
Sure.
switch over here. Let's go to it's your cam all day long. Let's go to my cam for 5 minutes. Here we go. Go to Junkies and let's go to Junkie pics and boom.
So this you have listed in your files as Lou Quith eye color. So this is a Quith eye color chart. We talked about that on a recent SIGLERinPLACE, not maybe in the last couple of months.
Okay.
I think this might be Lou Lindemann who made this because you have saved it as Lou, but I don't know this artist. So if you guys know this artist or you are this artist, please let us know so that we can appropriately credit you instead of
my record in labeling is not great, not great at all. And but this is really cool. This is the whole idea with the Quith. They are have a exoskeleton, a carapace, if you will, and they are not. You can't really see a lot of emotional expression from them, from their body, because their body is fairly rigid with all the different little plates and parts, but their eyes change colors and every color represents something. And then you can get combinations colors, you get swirls on top of a base color, and all of it is really kind of as the characters get used to, like Quentin gets used to. At first when he sees this, none of this makes any sense to him.
Right.
And as he gradually becomes more empathetic and understands those individuals, he can start to detect their mood.
Yeah, when he starts to see them as, for lack of a better word, as human.
As
real and living people,
And the really talented leaders can not only mask their emotions, they can manufacture them. So they're like actors. So Greedock can elicit any color he wants to come into his eye to convince people that he is sincere about shit.
Vaughn just asked in the chat, do the colors inhibit their vision?
They do not. They basically have a inverted cone for an eye, and that cone is ringed with sensors all the way down. So they have beyond what do you call it? They have beyond stereoscopic vision. They're not limited to the two inputs. They have multiple inputs within that one particular lens. So it's kind of a multiple telescopic vision. It's complicated. It's science.
We should get Murray in here to describe
We should get Murray in here.
This is a photo of the lovely Hatridge family. They were out in 2019 for Comic-Con. So this is July of 2019, and they came over to the lair. If you've gone to Siglerfest, you've met most of them, I think, in this photo. And they're just lovely. They live somewhere in the middle of the country, maybe Kansas. I think Kansas or Missouri. And they came out, just had the best time. They went to Comic-Con, had the best time there. They're just lovely folks. And I loved this picture because this is also at the old Lair of Doom, the office that no longer exists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. We miss it, though. Now we have...
And this is some of my favorite people on earth. They're both in the chat room. This is Shannon, Jen, and their daughter, Em. And this is also 2019. I keep saying last year, but that's because 2020 just
didn't happen.
No memory.
There was no 2020.
This is actually 2 years ago this week. I went to Austin on a road trip to visit them. And we went to, I forget, the Zilker, I think it is, something like that, a fairy garden. And I guess every summer... This park builds a fairy garden, and we got all dressed up, and I had a lot of glitter on my face, and I'm sure it's still in Jen's car. But we had a great day, and that was Em in her little fairy dress, and us dressed up.
Did you guys? How was your fairy hunt? Did you bring any home?
We weren't hunting. We were just enjoying the well, yeah. Also, you can't really see it, but I have some kind of crazy outfit on. You can obviously see my face. Sweet M has a cute little tutu on, and the matching wings to that Jen is wearing in that photo. You just can't see them, but it's one of my favorite sort of behind-the-scenes parts.
Hopefully wings collected from a living fairy that was brought down with buckshot. Here we go. Next we have... Oh, that's me.
I know. I thought I'd surprise you. I wanted to congratulate Scott. This past weekend, he worked really hard in the last month or so to get ready for his band Super Weapon to shoot their first video.
Yeah.
And he's been talking about that, and it's been on social media, so I thought I would take a picture also from the summer of 2019.
Yes.
And it's so funny how very different you look.
Yeah, very different.
You're
Holy
thinner, you have less beard, you look a whole lot different. And you were wearing that T-shirt earlier today, and I was like, well, this is very crazy. But this was at Petco Park here in San Diego playing that summer, and he's wearing, I think it was Pride Day, so it was June of 2019.
Yeah. Pride Padres hat and San Diego Fleet
And the San Diego Fleet. Yeah, and the San Diego Fleet don't exist anymore.
Sadly,
but so I thought
sadly.
I would say congratulations
Thanks,
to
baby.
you.
Thanks, baby. I did add one to the very end of this, so go ahead.
Okay, this is Oliver and Kelly Kirby, and you guys know Oliver from the chat room. He joins as often as he can, but he's in Australia, so it's not the greatest timing for him because he's at work. But he sent in a really lovely, exciting update, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is, of course, Ollie in the tuxedo and his wife Kelly. They do a lot of fostering and rescuing of animals.
Is that a wombat?
That is a Tasmanian devil, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. So he says, I have two things to celebrate. Number one, Kelly and I are going to be having a baby Junkie girl. Kelly is 16 weeks pregnant, and the new Junkie is due right before Christmas this year. Congratulations.
And will be
to
named
you both.
Scott. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Definitely not.
Middle name Scott.
No, it's a girl.
Chantal Scott.
What
She'll
about
be a
Scotty?
QVC host. Scotty's fine. I'm fine.
And then
fine.
he has actually a second celebration. He said, on the 9th of July, Kelly and I will have been together for half of her lifetime. I will be celebrating with a drink. Kelly will be celebrating with alcohol due to the first celebration. So if you move to the next photo, this is, I guess, Kelly on one of their very first dates. That's the same woman in the previous photo half her life ago, which I thought was a terrific addition to the
really
email.
cool.
So Kelly and Ollie and baby Kirby, congratulations.
I always want to see Tigger rip Pooh to shreds. I thought that'd be great to watch Pooh screaming, blood flying everywhere.
Have you met Tigger though? Like that is not
Tigger,
in.
look, you cannot take those instincts away from a predator. At some point, Tigger's going to snap. He's like, oh, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. Whoo! You're going to get mad if you're the only one of your species, and you're going to go on a murderous, blood splattery spree all across the what is it? The 100 yards woods? What is it?
100-acre woods.
Oh, it's the 1,000-yard stare woods. That's what it is. That's what Tigger's got, the 1,000 yards woods stare. And then our last one? No. Oh, yeah, this is lovely.
This is, and I didn't write his name down. What is wrong with me today?
I thought I was in there.
1 second. Not his name is not. The artist's name is.
Oh, okay.
Is. Hang on, I got it here, though. This is Dylan Stiff. Dylan Stiff got a Bartell Waterbugs tattoo in April of 2017. He decided to get it after the Dead Equals Dead and Sometimes Retconned blog post back in 2014,
So cool.
As requested by Scott on Twitter. The artist's name is Joseph Christensen of Rockin' Tattoos. Thanks so much to Scott for creating such awesome stories and thrilling a young fan by naming a quarterback after him all those years ago.
Dylan Stiff.
And for giving me something that I'm thrilled to have as a tattoo.
Spectacular. Great design. I think the tattoo artist, who did the logo? Was that a pond logo or was that
I'm not sure.
Not sure. But that is awesome. That is what that they say Red Bull gives you wings. If you are an author like me, you guys getting tattoos of my stuff, it gives me wings, but not fairy wings because we're in fairy season and you can take them down with double-aught buckshot and then you can mount their wings on the wall and that's legal. And then I'd add this because we just talked about this last week.
Oh, great.
There's Mr. Happy, Chris Grohl, secret agent, and his bar made of ammo crates, which is spectacular.
So you can see at the top of the photo by Chris's head, that shelf if you look at them, it has locking buckles there at the bottom. And so there's a flip down where you can lock that because it's an ammo crate. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of booze stashed in the ammo crate. Oh, shit, I gave a secret. Anyways, it's a very functional bar. As you can see, there's a lot of lovely bottles up top.
Mm-hmm.
But
and this is his,
dude.
the pub that's in his basement.
Yeah.
So right to his left is a wall of, I think is it 2 TVs, 3 TVs? We had several screens and bookshelves and games and all music and all sorts of cool stuff. It's very fun.
Baby, guess what time it is?
It is time for me to answer Emily McGregor's question from earlier.
Some more text right now. Text us your Siglerbration. Go ahead, babe.
So I do wear this. It's not exactly a charm bracelet. I'm going to show it to you if I can. It says, do less harm. I can't really show it to you. I have a blog post that I'm almost ready to post at emptyset.com. This has actually got an interesting story to it. I have had it for about 25 years. And recently I lost one of the charms and I reached out to the artist who I loved, who I hadn't, I didn't know personally, but I have a lot of her work. And I said, well, I have all this and I'm really nerdy. And is there any way you can fix this? And when I looked her up, now she is this
big deal.
Much bigger deal. And she was still she was like, I haven't seen that bracelet in 15 years. I can't believe you wear it every day. And I will spoil the blog post a little. I had to send it back. It says, do less harm. So I guess I'm the Tigger in our relationship for sure. And I wear it as a reminder to do less harm. And I lost the R. And so it said, do less ham for like a month before I realized it or so, because I saw a photo like, oh, it was
We
there
are
then
doing
too.
less ham, as a matter of fact. We don't eat mammals as much anymore because it do less harm.
Yep.
Okay, so now we think we have time. Samorg, looking for Samorg in the chat. See, she had something to Siglerbrate. If we don't get to it this time, we'll get to it next time. But you know what time it is?
I don't.
It's time for questions.
Oh,
and
we've got
I believe this
questions.
time we've got, if you want to call it the questions, this question song is going to be by the Queen Bee herself. And I'm going to sing it as I think she would sing it. Just the word questions. Questions! There we go. That is Beyonce giving some questions.
I got some. I did not know that was coming.
Yeah, that's it. I got it went down. You do all the register, and you some warbles in the middle and vibrato, and you show it all the stuff you got. There we go. All right. So, baby, we have a question?
Simorg says her Siglerbration was she brought a website.
Samorg bought a website. Happy Siglerbrations to you. Do we bust out a question?
All right. So, Mike, I saw that you were in the chat room. You sent this in not too long ago. Mike Weirs asks, after being all caught up in the Siglerverse, I went back to Fire is Orange. Did anyone else see the crazy similarities to the Pink Torpedo and Amazon's superhero show, The Boys? Stay science, everyone.
I don't know. I can't comment on these things because of legal reasons. But I think that the story Pink Torpedo, which was in Mur Lafferty's universe, where the hero is wearing all kinds of endorsements because that's how he makes his salary. He gets a moderate salary from the marina and the port authority that he works for, and then he's got like Palmolive logos and Nike logos, and he's covered in logos because that's the way things go. And how many years ago was that, babe? That's at least 10 years ago.
Oh, at least, yeah.
At least 10 years ago. So there's probably some similarities, but that's not, there's no copying or anything like that. It's pretty obvious to see that in American culture, as sponsorships and logos cover everything, and now we even have my beloved, the sports teams actually have corporate logos on their uniforms, and it burns. It burned when they started putting them on the courts. It burned when they started renaming stadiums after corporations. But that's the way things go. Corporations got money, and a lot of money, and if they want to give someone else a lot of money to show their logo on a thing, then that's the way it works because it's money. Yes. Next question.
All right. Let's see. I saw one in the chat room, I thought, and maybe I did not. Oh, well. Let's see. How many characters do you write are partially you?
That's a pretty good question. Obviously, all the ones that commit murder, those are all me. Commit fraud, embezzlement, robbery, assault, pyramid schemes, Plinko games, 3-card Monty. Those are all me.
Those are not your characters.
Oh, there's a little bit of me, I think, in all the characters. And as I have progressed as a writer, it's always fun and sometimes a very disturbing challenge that I try not to write cardboard cutouts. Like, this is the bad guy, this is the good guy. The good guy is always good, the bad guy is always bad. I try to avoid that simple binary good versus evil concept. So you really have to get into a character's head and write a very disturbing character that does awful things, but yet make that character believe they are in the right. At least believe they are just, even if they know they're in the wrong, they feel they are justified due to life circumstances or moral code or philosophical outlook, that they can do these things and they're not actually the bad guy. So that's the tricky part when you've got somebody, dismembering or mounting a human head on a wall or crazy things like that.
Or, as Iceberg says, Kayla Myers.
Yeah, Kayla Myers.
You're apparently Kayla Myers.
Kayla Myers was probably the big acid test for that. Getting into Perry Dossey's head, all as messed up as he wasn't that challenging because, Danny Baker and I played football with guys like that, guys who had just gotten the crap kicked out of them by their dads all the time. And because of that, they had a completely different concept of both huge pain tolerance and the ability to bring all of the violence in their body to bear on a football field just like that. And that made them better players than they would have been without that. So Perry was easy to get into from experience, but Kayla was, Kayla felt very justified in everything that she did in Earth Core and trying to get into that mindset. So that's not me, but it sure does make you feel a little bit squicky. I think I could be a great assassin and interrogator, except for the killing people part and the torturing people part. I don't think I would
You'd be
that
like,
very much.
okay, is there some sort of torture that doesn't involve screaming or blood?
Yeah.
No blood, no screaming, no needles.
What if we go out for ice cream and then you tell me all the stuff?
More ice cream.
Then you get more ice cream and you walk away with all of your fingernails intact. That seems like a good deal for everybody.
I won't tell anybody about it if you won't tell.
Let's do one more, darling. Or we got tons of time.
I want to say, I want to actually say, I personally
Rob's
think.
a dick. Rob's a dick.
If you guys can't see that, Rob said none of the really smart ones, though, characters-wise.
What a dick. All right, let's go. What did you want to say, baby?
So I wanted to say that there are some characters that are set pieces. I don't know what else to call them, but like Biznaz. Biznaz is obviously of Scott's mind, but I do think was sort of pulled whole cloth from having that story about that actual guy, and then it popped, like it sort of like the idea for the Duck Blinds and Nocturnal, it sort of semi-formed in your head.
Right.
That I don't think, other than that you wrote the dialogue, has a whole bunch of you.
No.
And I also think there are several characters like this. That's one. Firstborn, I think, has you sort of think
I think Firstborn has quite
has
a
some
bit
of you.
Yeah.
But then Rex. Rex, you sort of think he's like this rough and tumble kid, and then you realize like he's absolutely always throughout the entire story been off his rocker.
Yeah.
And
for good reason, but
well, of course, yes. So
all right, what do we got now?
All right, so let me do that. How accurate and real to life are your characters that are based on real people?
Well, that's a good question. I'm trying to think about that. I'm trying to think of what characters I have who are. Oh, like if I base a character, say, on Rob Otto.
No, I think I think the question might be asking like how close to real is Janine Carbonaro?
Not at all.
Yeah,
0.
It's just names. I
0.
think.
All of the real world names, junkie names that I've lifted so that a junkie can see themselves in the story is nothing. They're not based on that person at all, because you can't always get the hero, and you often get terrible people that happen to have your name, which is part of the delight, I think, for a lot of junkies.
I think
my character killed 8 guys
exactly.
and wore their faces as a codpiece. It was great.
And I think you have a lot of people who want to be killed. For sure.
That was the big request in the early days. Kill me in a book, kill me in a book, kill me in a book. So
So Emily McGregor, you asked, did you miss embarrassing photos? As it turned out this week, a whole bunch of Siglerbrations sent in photos. So we got to do the T-shirts. We did get a little squashed for time, and we only did, I think, 6 or 7 photos, and none of them were embarrassing. But next week, I'm coming with that other photo that came with the cat photo. So be ready. Uh-oh. Let's see. Let me find you another question.
All right, hit me. Question.
Walt Chesney asks, it's clear you're science-minded. Which field of science do you find the most interesting?
I find the field of entomology the most interesting. Paleontology is quite fascinating, but entomology, the breadth and depth and diversity of the insect world is quite staggering. And what's really fascinating about them to me is the rapidity with which they go through subsequent generations. Mm-hmm. So the evolutionary advantages in the insect world are just friggin' staggering. The specialization of the unique things they can do. Who do we watch? The True Facts?
Z Frank.
Z Frank's True Facts on YouTube is a wonderful show. That guy's a brilliant YouTube creator. But he does a lot of stuff in the animal world and a lot of insects. And A and I will be, a couple cocktails in, turn on Zay Frank, and talk about a delightful buzzkill. We're like, I've had a couple of scotches, I'm feeling pretty good. And you're like, wait, a mite can do what?
And they're where?
How the fuck did that happen? And it's...
What are we doing watching this Wait, do it again. Back it up.
Yeah, rewind that shit. Rewind that shit. And they'll be like, baby, you see this? So I almost went into marine biology. I was heading in... If I had stayed in the Pacific Northwest, I was there 6th, 7th grade. I was going to marine biology camp.
That's the place to do it.
I was going to study tide pools and different things. Probably would have gone into that and then wanted to go into entomology, but in northern Michigan, entomology basically consists of black flies and mosquitoes.
Not
fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Occasionally some ground bugs and pill bugs, stuff
I don't
like that.
know if that is mine to answer either, but I'm about to answer it. But before I do, Chris McWhite, my friend, are you kidding me? Everybody in the chat room is wrong. It's not bourbon. It's not beer. It's a Boilermaker, baby. Okay. So for me, I have a degree. I'm a medicinal chemist by education. So I am fascinated by the body, sort of the human body. I know the human body best. How too much water affects it. How too much aspirin affects it. How illicit drugs, all that stuff I find very curious. And so, like I mentioned at the top of the hour, I had taken antibiotics this week, and there's part of me that's like, this sucks. And there's part of me that's like, wow, that's really a fascinating reaction to that. I wonder why that happens. But I also am not a blood and guts and gore kind of person, so I don't think I could do entomology or anything where it's not teeny tiny, and kind of
Okay. Okay, I think we have time for one more, and we'll tap out. We'll tell everybody kiss off in the sky, and we'll go home.
I think that's it.
Okay.
I just didn't want to miss anybody who's got that. Let's see. Elise Kellogg asks...
But hold that. J.R. Murdoch, the reasons there's no lizards in the GFL is because every science fiction writer seems to think that a clever thing is to be like, what if the dinosaurs evolved to sentience? And that's fun, because they would have eventually, for sure. But lizard men, I can't read a science fiction book if it's lizard men, hyena men, men who look like bats. Can't call them Batmen. But just basically a bipedal, bilaterally symmetric thing that, the Star Trek curse. The Star Trek curse that everything that evolves to sentience looks exactly like us, just with stuff on their nose, or an animal face. So that's why you're not going to see lizard men, my thing. All right, baby, hit it.
Elise Kellogg asks, have you ever wanted to write nonfiction?
Not really. I mean, there's plenty of people who are very good at that. And one thing that I'm shallow, petty, and bitter, and very arrogant, and I tend to read everything or watch everything on TV and go here's where they screwed up on that. I'm like, the neckbeard guy from, actually, a cicada would not shed its skin that way. It's completely different and your plot is ruined. And I know that I'm a total killjoy watching movies, but I watch everything and fiction-wise and feel like they could have done this, they could have done this, they could do that better. I never think that with nonfiction. When I read good nonfiction, I'm always like the most recent nonfiction book I read was biography on Thomas Jefferson, and I was like, you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to sit in a museum and sort through 15 years of Thomas Jefferson correspondence. My dearest Charlotte, today I had a baked egg and
like
5 peppers. I checked on the chickens to see how many eggs they had. No.
And I will role play what Scott would do with the chickens. Read the chickens.
I went through all of the chicken coops.
Can I get some more water? Is there a restroom?
Why is this person not reading my book? I'm going to account for you all of the feather discoloration in Henrietta, my favorite hen. So I never go through nonfiction and think I could do better than that. Mike Cole's Legion versus Phalanx is another recent one. And I just read, like when I watch Zay Frank, when I read nonfiction, I'm like, holy shit, how do people have the attention span to go through all of this stuff and sort out these incredibly awesome key moments? I'm blown away by good nonfiction writers.
But one thing that I actually think, and
yes, Nelson, we'll get to that in a moment.
As a benefit to your inability to pay attention to a nonfiction thing, is part of the reason that you don't is that you see that and it turns into like, okay, but what if they were terraforming a human being? And all of a sudden you're off, and that becomes infected, you know?
Yes.
So I'm okay with you
Kevin
not
Mest.
writing. I'm okay with you not writing.
Boss of Bosses is in the chat room. Boss of Bosses, Kevin Mest.
I hope you had a happy birthday, Kevin.
Nelson, yes, we did watch the Tomorrow War and did enjoy it after a fashion. I got a little bit beat up on Twitter because I posted what were completely non-spoilery stuff about the movie, just kind of general stuff like it's a science fiction movie about some kind of monster. The things I'm tweeting are going to happen in every single science fiction movie with a monster. Like, when does the monster show up? That's not really a spoiler. But then a lot of people were responding those comments on Twitter, and the responses were spoiling it for other people. So now I got to kind of figure out how to do that because obviously when you write books and the first page of the book is, hey, don't be a dick and spoil this for everybody, keep it to yourself, and then you go out and do things online that cause people to be spoiled about stuff. So I'll summarize the Tomorrow War. I thought the monsters were awesome. I had some people wondering if I'd seen it because they thought the monsters reminded them of the ancestors.
Yeah, I guess
and
that was it.
I didn't see that connection. I really didn't see it at all.
Other than that, they were very sort of triangular with their head and
top
shoulders.
Heavy, shoulder heavy.
Yeah, that was true. But we both said like, okay, spoiler alert, we got to say, but he already said the thing. Like, oh, it's probably a monster.
Yeah.
And as soon as we thought that, we both went at the same time, like, better be a sail fin.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a sail fin because of the comparison on getting
happen.
ancestors. So there wasn't a sail fin. They didn't have that little stubby butt. There was really narrow rear hips. They did have really top-heavy front wide shoulders, much wider than the rear hips.
And they were
so that was
whitish,
similar.
and they had big bloody mouths.
They had whitish big bloody mouths. Yeah, you know what? I guess the mouths, but a really wide. A maw that is wider than the body, almost as wide as the shoulders, full of very sharp teeth. That's not at all a Sigler thing. That's a real common go-to for most sci-fi horror artists who make the things. So, but I love the monsters. Fast-moving monsters are always a really fascinating thing to watch. It was extraordinarily derivative. Like, you could watch the movie and be like, here's the World War Z part. Here's the fourth Independence Day part. Watching all of that, and there were a couple more in there. So maybe we'll talk about it some other time. But it was a little rough for me to watch because they spent $200 million on that thing, and like all the special effects look great. Chris Pratt was great. I like the supporting cast, but just the plot choices for the weird stuff that cost nothing. It costs nothing to clear up the time travel stuff. It costs zero to make things a little bit more logical and linear. So and only for the purpose of stuff that won't take some people out of the story. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. All right.
I was just going to say, I it's better than any movie I've never made. So
it's better than any $200 million movie that's made about my stuff, for sure.
Yeah. So,
sure.
I don't have the same investment, understandably so, and reasonably so. But I did get, there are a lot of like super duper cheap, like puns and 1 minute, 1 second
Very
laughs.
funny things.
And I did laugh heartily at all of those, so I leaned into that part.
Larger Kevin Hart was very good. I don't know the actor's name, but he was
Yes.
basically a larger Kevin Hart. He was very funny. Biologically, I would have liked some of this stuff could get left on the cutting room floor, even though it's a streaming movie and they can make as long as they want. But the thing that got me the most was if they could have given me an explanation why only shooting it in the throat or the belly is spoiler. Only shooting in particular places is going to kill it when it's just getting blasted with high caliber rounds all over the place.
And even handheld rocket launchers and stuff.
You know what? If stuff that would blow a human in half is just gonna make this thing go and then keep coming, like just a little explanation might be nice. Like Ancestors has a very detailed explanation of why they can take a lot of bullet fire and keep coming after you. That would have been cool. Other than that, I did enjoy it.
But another thing which you didn't think of last night, and I didn't remember until just now, is you made that whenever we watched it, you made that argument, and then there's a spoiler again. There's a part where somebody goes up to a dead one and takes a souvenir, and it's quite literally like this. And he takes away the souvenir, and it's interesting to me that they are impenetrable with a handheld rocket, but you can pull out one of their teeth when they're dead. That doesn't make any sense to me.
My military consultant, small unit consultant, firearms consultant, Mr. Happy Chris Grohl in the chat room says, right, small arms, yes, 50 caliber bullets, no. You can't, if you're going to have a creature that can shrug off 50 caliber rounds, I believe that requires a little bit of explanation. Yeah. That's my own philosophy. All right.
Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, wins the evening, though.
What do you say?
He says, is it Kevin Enlarged Heart?
Maybe. Maybe.
Because he's big Kevin Hart.
Yeah, big Kevin Hart. Yes.
Oh, Bruce Press is in the room.
Bruce, yeah. I went online to look at the Twitter response to the movie and look at the reviews of the movie, and it's pretty polarized. Basically, it's everyone knows there was a bunch of BS and bunk with the plot that didn't need to be there. Like, even the people who like it. But of the people who like it, like, dude, it's a $200 Chris Pratt movie about invading monsters. So we're not here for war and peace. We're here to see straight carnage. And some of the carnage was pretty great, but man, what a crazy choices. Mm-hmm. All right, baby, anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone over budget on time, and that's unacceptable. That has not happened because the QVC HSC channel operates on a very fixed, tight schedule. So, you know what? If you want to rub babies' butts against your face...
That's the moon.
Oh, that's the moon.
Yeah.
If you want to rub baby butts against your face... It's great. It's a high thread count. It's very spectacular.
So since we've kept you 10 minutes too long, I will scoot through my end stuff.
Yeah.
You have anything at all to say? Anything at all when you want us to share? Pictures, any celebrations, all that stuff? info@emptyset.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, you guys, we have the same. We're promising you the same. We're going to do this forever. Where did that go?
I don't know. He's over there. Hit it.
We want you before.
We'll be back on Wednesday, July 14th, celebrating National Macaroni and Cheese Day. What?
Always be eating on camera.
Always be eating on camera. That's how you get the Emmys. Always be eating on CAMARERO. Yeah, macaroni. Yeah. All right, that's it. And now we go to.
Until then, you guys. We want you to stay safe.
We want you to stay smart.
We need you to stay informed.
And for the love of science, stay science.
That's the way this whole day has been, you guys. We
will
love
now
you.
Tell you to go kiss off into the sky. Hit the right button there.